Welcome to episode 179 of In Touch with iOS, a podcast that talks about iPhone, iPad, Apple Watch, Apple TV, and related technologies. I'm your host, Dave Ginsburg. My co-host, Warren Sklar, is here. How you doing, Warren?
Full.
Oh?
I'm full.
Oh, you're full. I think it cut you off. I didn't hear you. Yeah,
What did I say? Old?
It sounded like
It sounded like Warren is old.
I'm full, and tired.
Holidays will do that to you. But
Yes, I do.
as you hear the other voices, we have two other great guests, returning guests. Mr. Jeff Gamet's back. How you doing, Jeff?
I'm doing great. I'm not feeling old, but I am feeling full.
Yeah. I'm going to join you with that, at least the full part. And Patrice Brend'Amour is back on the show. How you doing, Patrice?
I'm doing good too. I'm neither old nor full right now, so I'm all good.
We, of course, could not record the show on Thanksgiving Day. I don't think anybody would have showed up, so nor would I have. We would all have been busy. So we pushed this recording to Friday afternoon here as we go here. So I was so glad to be able to have Patrice join us, since it's not late night normally when we are recording. So thanks for being here, Patrice. And we have some news to talk about this week, and not a lot going on, but we'll come up with some stuff as well. As we're going to give some gift guides, some related iOS gift guides. Maybe that will be in the mix here in a little bit here, where we can come up with during the show. So let's go ahead and get started here. So first story, this is on Apple Insider. Demand for iPhone 13 still eclipsing iPhone 12, launched in the United States. The sales of the iPhone 13 family continue to be robust in the U.S., a survey indicates, with Apple benefiting from high early demand, like many of us here got one, and supply issues are affecting competitors. And in the financial results, Apple did comment, and Tim Cook actually commented that they're seeing robust demand, but the supply chain is really affecting a lot, not just iPhones, but I think every place. And they go through a lot of the data and stuff, but it's good to see. I think the iPhone 13 is a strong, it's been real strong sales, and I think it always seems always the fact every new iPhone model. What do you think, Patrice?
I mean, it's super interesting to compare it last year. I mean, there were a lot of supply chain issues because of COVID last year.
Yeah.
And Apple, even delayed releasing the iPhone and all of that. And it feels like Apple has a better handle on it. Compared to a lot of the other companies like Samsung and so on. I'm kind of wondering where the demand comes from. Is it just more people switching this year than last year just because that's the time, in their update cycle? Or is there more going on and maybe some people are actually switching to the iPhone 4? I don't know what reason.
Yeah, it's just interesting, like I say, to say the least. What do you think, Jeff?
I think Patrice nailed most of it. I think that even though we have people that are on upgrade cycles, just based on how long they want to keep their phone, I think we also have this kind of buildup where you have more and more people. You approach certain iPhone revisions that are ready to upgrade, and I think iPhone 13 was probably one of those cycles where there was more people ready to upgrade. And Apple has had a year to figure out how to adapt to the shipping and supply issues that the pandemic has brought. And I had another point. I hate that.
I'll talk and then you can think about it. So I'll just give you my quick thought is demand and sales are different, right? So the sales compared to 13, since Apple doesn't give us numbers, could be less than it was with the 12, as far as we know. 5 people could want the iPhone 13 and they only have 2. And, 3 people are demanding the phone. So, I don't know how much, how many they're selling compared to 12. It just might be that the supply chain got tighter as time went on because there was shipping people right there. There's the whole thing with the shipping containers on the West Coast, and you heard about the supply issues last year around this time, but nothing solid, right? Nothing like pinpointing why it was happening. Now we kind of have a better idea of why.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure I agree fully with that, because Apple themselves in the earnings call said that they're expecting a record-breaking quarter. They're not giving any guidance, but they expect a record-breaking quarter. And I mean, as we all know, the iPhone makes up 50-60% share of that. So if they weren't selling any iPhones, if there was no real sales of iPhones, they wouldn't predict that.
Yeah, but they also, I mean, they don't categorize their sales so much. So, the M1 MacBook Airs and Pros were flying off the shelf. That could be part of it. They make a lot of money on those. Yep. EarPods, things like that are doing really well. I'm not saying that they didn't sell as many as they did this year compared to last, but I don't know if the article's saying that either.
Mm-hmm.
I remember my third point now.
Oh, it's important.
Good timing.
I mean, seriously, it really hurt my head to bring it back up. Okay, I think there's a psychological issue here as well. And at the point that iPhone 12 came out last year, I think that there was still, even though sales in general were just kind of up across the consumer space, I think that there was still some concern that people were having because the whole pandemic thing was still kind of newish, even though it's what we've been living in for several months. And now here we are almost 2 years into the pandemic, and it's the new normal. So I think people that were more inclined to not make purchases last year because of uncertainty, they're more likely to make those purchases this year.
And I'll add one more thing to my point is this year, the carriers were, at least in the US, were super aggressive on the phone selling. I know I got my 13 almost for free after trading in my 12 Max Pro to T-Mobile, with credits. My wife was even, who would never upgrade for no reason. She was convinced to upgrade her 10S to the 13 because there's credits. And people were saying that's on T-Mobile, but AT&T and Verizon also had nearly, almost, dollars to dollars a free phone. So Apple considers that a sale, and the carriers were really aggressive with it.
Yeah, I got an email, I think it was yesterday. It's been in the last 2 days from AT&T, my carrier, offering me $1,000 towards a new iPhone 13 with the trade-in of my iPhone 12.
Yep. I mean, I got, so it was a hybrid. I got Apple gave me a certain amount, and then T-Mobile gave me a certain amount on bill credits. But if you did the math, over a year or two, it paid off the entire phone.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
It's good stuff. Well, let's. I think we'll continue to see it going, and I even saw other stories that they're predicting that could send us all over 10 million iPhones over the Christmas and the Black Friday sales. So it's gonna keep going. Next story in Mac Rumors: Shazam updated with the ability to find more songs by listening longer. Shazam is the popular music recognition service that Apple did acquire back in 2018. It's updated its iPhone and iPad apps today with the ability to find more songs by analyzing the audio that is playing for a longer period before it offers a result, which is a good thing because I know it would only go for like 10 or 15 seconds and we can't find it. And come on, this is a popular song. And Shazam users can take advantage of this improved functionality, of course, by updating it, which is in the App Store. And Shazam is actually one of the oldest apps out there. It started in 2008. I remember it was like one of the very first apps I downloaded. I didn't have the very first iPhone. I went with the 3G was my first, so that was in 2008. So I've probably probably one of the very first users. I'm sure many of us were here. And it was a great service that allowed you to go quickly identify songs. I think it was a smart buy on Apple's part, and keeping the same brand really and integrating it into the OS as well as they've been doing. But they just announced a couple months ago that they've surpassed over 1 billion. That's a billion with a B, recognitions per month, making it one of the most popular music apps in the world.
It's a great app.
Yeah, what do you think, Patrice? Do you assume you use it a lot?
I've used it here and there. I mean, usually when I play music, I play it on Apple Music, so I can just ask whatever device is playing what it is.
That's true.
But I mean, I still use it quite frequently when I'm like out and about, or I hear a song in a TV show or something. I mean, sure, I could just Google it or whatever, but it is a really great app. I mean, I've had that, as you said, where it's like, oh, this is a super popular song and you should know it, and the app just says no clue, or it gives you like a obviously wrong result where it's like, okay, no, this is not it, like completely wrong. So yeah, this is good, but it's a great app. I mean, the integration with Apple Music is awesome. Yeah, like you can Shazam like a song, and then just like with a click of the button, you're in Apple Music and you can have it.
Absolutely.
So perfect.
Do you use it much, Warren? What do you think?
I always forget to use it. So
you can put it in the control center; it'll work for you automatically there.
I think I did actually at one point, but go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
Or ask Siri to do it.
The things I wanted to try that I haven't tried yet is I think you could. I don't know if it does it, but you could hum a song, it might know it, and if you say what song has the lyrics, blah 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 blah, it might find it too. So I don't know if that's a Shazam thing or a Siri thing, but that's something I would probably get into too. But no, what I did do today was signed up for Tidal because it's $2 for 3 months, and then I'll cancel it. Just a little related music thing, but no, I don't use that much. My wife thinks I am Shazam. I'm pretty good with the music.
I think I'm up there too. What do you think, Jeff?
I think that Dave, you and I are probably OG Shazam users.
Yeah, that's right.
Because I remember when it came out, and I thought, "There's no way." And so I downloaded it, and turns out, yes, there is a way, and it's been great.
Yeah.
My Shazam usage really took off, I think. You remember when Apple had their iTunes partnership with Starbucks?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and not all the stores had a display to show you what song was playing. So I would sit in Starbucks working on something and then hold up my iPhone to figure out what song was playing.
They used to give you a card. There used to be a card holder. You give the card to scan it, and you got that free song.
Yeah. I got so much music that way.
Yeah.
And
they also had
apps.
Yeah, apps. They had a free app of the week.
Free apps too. Yeah, the free app of the week, and then a free song.
Yeah.
If you scan the card. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good times. Good times.
Oh,
now
good
we all
times.
have Now we all have Apple Music, and we don't need that anymore.
Yeah. Who cares? We got millions and millions of songs in our pockets. The next story here is this was in Macworld. iOS 15 won't get the digital driver's licenses support until 2022. This feature was originally supposed to arrive before the end of this year, as we record 2021. When iOS 15 was launched, quite a few features were delayed, as we know, or a few others, including SharePlay, which is now out. And this is actually was spotted by Mac Rumors. Apple has updated iOS 15 overview site to say that the feature allowing you to add your driver's licenses and other state ID cards to the Apple Wallet won't be arriving until early 2022. It's basically like a form of identification, so it'll be approved at TSA when you check in the U.S. and security checkpoints and such. But they kept talking about only specific states in the United States are adopting it, and not very many, not my state, and I don't think Jeff's or Warren's either. So. Yeah, this is interesting.
Like
but what are they going to do in Europe too, Patrice? Was this going to be adopted? Or?
I mean, maybe in 10 years. It usually. I mean, sometimes it never happens, and sometimes it takes forever. And they come up with their own solution here. So I know Arizona is doing it. So
yeah.
That would have been awesome. But yeah, I mean, not surprised. Anything if you work with a government entity is gonna get delayed. Like. It's just built in.
Yep.
It's like, yeah, but I mean, it's not a bad thing. Let it mature. Let it get ready, and then.
Yeah, I'm in no hurry, honestly.
Yeah.
Jeff, what do you think?
Yeah, Patrice got it right. When you're dealing with governments, there are inevitable delays. So, the fact that Apple said it was going to launch in 2021 to me is more surprising than the announcement it's being delayed to 2022.
Yeah.
And it's only a handful of states to start, and that doesn't surprise me either. It's just actually it's kind of a dumpster fire of systems across the United States for dealing with digital ID content, and I think there's a lot of states that invested a lot of money in crap solutions. Colorado, I'm looking at you. And,
Illinois, I didn't do anything.
The app that Colorado has for digital ID, it's kind of bad.
A bad developer. They got to do it.
It's kind of useless because you don't even have statewide recognition of the digital ID system that Colorado has. So it's like a handful of cities will recognize the digital ID. So if you can't even get a state to adopt its own digital ID system, then how can you expect Apple working with the entire United States to get something like this to roll out on time, even for a small handful of states?
Yeah, let alone the entire world.
Yep.
Good luck with that.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, we in Pennsylvania they were pushing the Real ID until COVID hit. And the Real ID, do you guys have the Real ID or
yeah?
Were they talking about Real ID? Is that a federal thing? Yeah.
In U.S.,
So,
I'm not sure about Austria, but
Yeah, a U.S. thing, but that would have been
No, in the U.S. definitely, yeah.
Yeah, that would have been a good opportunity to try to do something digitally as well, and it's not. It's basically just another. I think they just typed the word "real" on your driver's license, and there you go. But
Pretty much, yeah.
pretty much. So, but yeah, I mean, not only you're dealing with the federal government, but you're dealing with every single state, and it's just it's a mess. Just real quick, like my son's in Ireland, and we were there, and the country is small, and it's pretty much, they're pretty self-contained. They could do things like that. They have a whole thing with the COVID where, like, everybody knows if you have COVID or not. They if you try to use your transit card or your credit card, you're tagged. So just an example is that's just something you can't do in a big country here, like in the United States. And when you go with the EU, you got problems with the EU as well. So it's a mountain. It's a big mountain to climb.
Yeah, here they've talked about something that. That's why I said, like, it's probably going to take 10 years, and they're going to come up with their own solution. It's usually how the EU works. So.
My feeling is they're going to come, like, how Apple released the washing your hands timer on your watch just in time for it not to matter. I'm pretty sure by the time they get this to come out, there'll be like something even different or better or whatever.
Yeah, pretty much.
For sure. Next story here. This was this is actually an iPhone hacks. Tim Cook explains why Apple launched the self-service repair program. We've talked about this, of course, last week about this big thing. Early next year, that Apple's going to allow any of us to be able to do repairs starting with the iPhone 12 and iPhone 13, and pick from 200 plus parts and get the guides and all that fun stuff. Rich DeMuro from KTLA in Los Angeles, he, pretty predominant journalist. He's sitting outside the new store opened up in Los Angeles, and Tim came out, and I watched the whole interview. I was like, gosh, that was great. He just walked up to him, started talking, giving some answers. Tim said that they had to, that they thought this was a good idea. They thought it was open, and Tim was very straightforward on this, and I thought this was a great thing, to at least to reiterate that, as we all have been talking about with this whole thing, is Apple just saw the writing on the wall and had to really make a change. Yeah. What do you think, Patrice?
Yeah, what Tim Cook, I read the quotes. What Tim Cook said there is the nice marketing feel-good story that they like to tell the press.
Exactly.
and I'm pretty sure somewhere someone within Apple, that was probably also like a nice side benefit, that they were tinkerers and they were happy that this existed. But the reality is that's not why Apple did it.
No, there was pressure from the world saying you need to be more freer with your information about your products.
Exactly.
Hey, I'll grab, if I can grab the repair guides and stuff. Before those used to be bootlegged, you go out on probably a BitTorrent site to try that somebody uploaded. You wanted to go read a service manual. There's still plenty of them out there. But at least now it's going to be freely available. Warren, would you fix your own iPhone if you had the opportunity?
I did up until probably the 7, and then I stopped. I had one experience where I just kept breaking ribbon cables when I swapped the screen out, so it wasn't worth it. But there's people who do this daily, 50 times a day, and they know how to do it quickly. And everybody's making a big deal about, nobody's going to do it, you're not going to do it. But we're talking about people who do this for a living will benefit, because they'll be able to get, they could charge a little bit more for it, and they could say this is a genuine Apple part, and I'm doing the service for maybe half of what Apple would have charged you, but it's the same parts, and that's going to be a killer. That's going to be a good thing for them. So it's good for people who know how to do it and want to try. I mean, they're saying repairing the M1 Max, right? First of all, the news stories, when this first came out, the news stories are like, just hearing these reporters are like, you could do the iPhones now. In a couple of months, you could do the M1 Max. And I'm like, looking at them like, these people don't know what an M1 Mac is. Because, anyhow.
Not too much to repair there.
No, but and it kind of makes one sense. Like the new MacBooks that just came out have a replaceable battery now? Is that what they were saying? Or easily replaceable battery? So in hindsight, that kind of makes sense that they were kind of gearing up for that repair process by actual humans in Apple. So, I mean, I would I repair my? I don't know. Maybe. If I broke my phone, and I mean, I have Apple Care, so I'm not going to do it. But, maybe. Yeah,
I mean, there will be a teeny tiny minority of people that, they're not doing that professionally, but they're good enough and are interested enough that they can do it for their friends and their family. Mm-hmm. Those people exist, have always existed, and they will do it, and that's fine. And for them, that's a good program. The majority of people is never going to do that.
You need tiny hands.
Yeah, that too, yeah.
Jeff, what do you think?
Well, first, I really, really wanted to believe what Tim was saying, because
when you watched it,
it's a nice story.
Yeah, it's a great story, but at the same time, no, that's not why Apple did this. For the tinkerers, what did Tim say? The popular mechanics crowd.
Popular mechanics crowd. Yeah, that was it.
It's I mean, it's great, and so that's a nice side benefit. But this was a strategic legal move. And as far as would I repair my own iPhone?
Yeah.
No. It's of course, if it's under warranty, no. That's what Apple cares
no
for.
way.
I mean, you just did, right, with your, what was it, iPhone 10?
I did with my iPhone 10, and that's what convinced me I really don't have any interest in doing other repairs. Right. And all I did was replace the camera glass on the back of the phone.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's what happened to me with the 7. I thought I was enjoying it until I did not enjoy it anymore and realized this is not fun anymore.
Too much work.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sitting there with safety glasses on, little bits of glass just flying everywhere as I'm scraping off the broken lens covers.
Yeah,
and
extra screws are there. That's probably not that important.
And I ended up, I had to lock my cat in the bathroom for a while because I didn't want her like stepping on or licking up little pieces of glass. And by the time I was done, I thought, well, okay, now I've had that experience. And I don't want to ever do this again.
Maybe you could rent a robot that takes them apart for you.
That's what I need. I need a 3D printer so I can 3D print a robot to disassemble iPhones for me.
No, they have one. The Molly. What's the one that takes apart phones? They have one that has a name. Andy, Molly, or Richard.
Something like that.
Bob, something like that.
Fred, the disassembly robot.
Fred, the disassembly robot.
I think they even have 2. The
Yeah, they
second
got
one
a new
disassembled
one.
the first one, right?
Yeah. No, disassemble. No. Johnny 5.
Oh, yeah.
and
Well, they tried to use Johnny 5, but he said no disassemble, and so they had to fire him.
He had a strike sign on that said no disassemble, walking around, rolling around on his treadmill wheels.
that's right.
And I've just dated all 4 of us.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did.
Good movie.
Last story here. This was an iDrop News. An actual Tesla smartphone is looking more likely. I didn't even know this, and this story was like kind of buried. This is actually back in the end of October. I guess in early 2021, designer Antonio De Rosa and his ADR Studio Design Lab released a mock-up of what the Tesla phone might look like. And it was basically a concept. But now there's rumors surfacing that Tesla really is planning to make a smartphone. And suddenly ADR's concept images start to look a whole lot more interesting. And they go through some of the features that they, again, this is all rumor, but you know, when you get Elon Musk involved and you know how much he loves Apple, that he is trying to go after a market that's very dominant by Apple. You know, things like a Starlink connection will be one of the most, which is part of the SpaceX, and Elon Musk handling that with creating low orbit satellites. That if he's doing that, then maybe these phones he'd be able to work with the satellites, and lots of other stuff that's listed here in the article, and of course integrated with Tesla. So I that'd be a no-brainer since iPhones are not integrated with Tesla. And Warren, you being a Tesla owner, what do you think of this?
Well, I mean, I'm reading the integration with Tesla. Tesla app does everything this on the iPhone, does everything this says here. So it may not be integrated as far as like, you know, part of the operating system, but the app does. In fact, they just updated to do even more than this. So it's the first I'm hearing about this.
Yeah, I just kind of someone mentioned it to me in passing. Didn't you hear about this Tesla phone? I'm like, no, we would have been talking about this, and I just happened to Google it, and then here it was. So I'm like, how did I miss this? Because this was early last month.
I would say don't hold your breath on this one.
I wouldn't either. Again, it's a rumor, so
yeah, it's definitely a rumor. But yeah, the iPhone actually is more friendly with the Tesla than Androids, and I'm on a bunch of Tesla forums where, you know, people are complaining about the Android app not doing what the iPhone app does. So it does plenty. I mean, you could submit it; it works as your key. You know, would I like it to do some more? There's third-party apps too. So it doesn't do Siri commands, but there's third-party apps I got for free that will let you do Siri commands. You could say, "Hey, yes, unlock the doors. Hey, yes, turn on the heat," things like that. So, yeah, I mean, unless it was really, really integrated in a way that the iPhone can't do, then I don't see any interest of me having this.
I couldn't imagine. It was almost like Amazon when they had the Fire Phone. I did buy that piece of crap and ended up selling it off. because it was so cheap at the time. And yeah, that was like
the fire sale and the fire phone.
Fire phone.
Yeah.
What do you think, Jeff?
I'm calling fake on this one.
You think it's fake news?
Yeah. Okay. So here's why. I had not heard of this at all until these rumor stories started popping up. And now, I'm not being arrogant and saying because I hadn't heard of it before, it can't be real. But what it made me do was question, why have we not, or at least why I hadn't heard anything of this before? I need to do some research. So I tracked this back to an article from the Dev Discourse website.
Yeah, it's in there too, the link.
Right. And they reference a Chinese website. And all of this is starting from the renders this other guy did. But he's a professional designer.
Yeah.
And what I am speculating is that this guy came up with these ideas of what a Tesla phone could be. And then over time, it kind of gained momentum. And you know how rumors can start feeding on themselves and become self-referential. And so then they're confirming that they're real by all of these other articles that are coming up, but they all trace back to the same thing. And that's kind of what this one feels like to me. Mm-hmm. And considering the no, that part doesn't matter. Let's just say I'm not going to believe this until not just Elon Musk holds one up on stage, but when people can actually really buy them.
I wouldn't believe it even if Elon Musk held one up on stage. I still wouldn't believe it's coming out.
Exactly.
He does it all the time. Yeah. He holds stuff up all the time and says this is coming and it never comes. So.
And then it doesn't
like
come.
the robot.
People need to have them in hand.
The robot.
and show them working, and it needs to be people outside of the media circle, because they can make a bunch of prototypes and send them out to the media, and then the media's like, hey, look at this amazing Tesla phone I have, and then it doesn't go any farther. People need to be like literally purchasing these and using them before I'll believe that this is real.
Because he'll say, he'll say that it's true. Elon, somebody will tweet to Elon, say, is this a phone coming out? And he'll say, sure. And that's it. I mean, but it will never come. So like you said, Jeff, until you can actually hit the buy button on something, then I would not. Even then, I wouldn't be sure. So,
what I fully agree with you, and I don't like Elon Musk like the least bit. He is the type of arrogant person, and the combination of that with someone who has at least people skills enough to hire the right people to make this happen. Will it be successful? I don't know. I mean, some Tesla fanboys, fangirls will buy it. He has a pretty good following. Like he has, sometimes for me it looks a little bit like the people like us that followed Steve Jobs to a certain extent. There were some people that were really crazy about Steve Jobs. He has that kind of following. Some people, at least.
They sell tequila.
Some people, not everybody.
Or vodka.
Some people. Yeah. So he has the people he has the skills to do it, and he's crazy enough to try. And he has the money now. So it's not completely impossible. I mean, did it start out as you said, Jeff? Like a rendering from someone who had an idea that kind of picked up steam? Probably. Doesn't mean that Elon Musk doesn't just decide, well, people are asking for it. Maybe I think I can do it better because I'm arrogant. So let's do it.
Now you see, that's a totally plausible argument.
Yeah.
You could get tequila. I'm looking now. They sell Tesla tequila on. Yeah,
Tesla tequila. They have done the what was it? The flamethrower thingy.
The flamethrower, right?
Yeah, they have done some batshit crazy stuff. Like if Elon Musk wants it, he'll make it.
Yeah, I just I like his car, so I'm with you.
Great. He has the skills to pull it off.
Yeah, I'm not a crazy huge fan of him either.
That too. Yeah,
and the fact that he could drive the crypto market by just talking is insanely stupid.
Yeah.
As well. Yeah.
Crazy stuff. But like I said,
Definitely
rumors.
yes.
We'll see what happens. Let's move on to the topics this week. Beta, iOS 15.2 Beta 3 still going on. It's been 10 days since the last release. Have any of you seen any issues? Is it pretty solid? I haven't seen any on the devices I'm running it on.
It's
It's
pretty solid.
Took Thanksgiving
Yeah.
off, right? So, I mean, there probably would have been something this week. But I'm sure because
Beta
of the
1 and
holiday.
Beta 2 were rough on my
Yes.
test iPad battery.
Okay.
Yes.
Beta 3 seems to be a little more gentle on my battery.
Yeah, they had also some other issues. Like I had random crashes of apps and stuff happening all of a sudden. So they were rough
yeah,
in general.
I did have a few app crashes.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's to be expected in beta. But hopefully,
I mean,
back on track. We see a new another release next week, and they'll get to test some more here. So,
Beta 3 did fix a problem I was having with slow Wi-Fi connection, meaning slow to connect to a Wi-Fi network.
yeah.
well, that's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good thing. So, all right, next topic I want to talk about here is CarPlay. CarPlay's been a thing for about 7 years now. God, I can't believe it. That was 7 years ago when that first came out. That was seems like it was yesterday. And there's a lot of apps out there. And I found this interesting article. I wanted to talk about some of the apps I've had experience with using CarPlay. Everybody here, well, I know Warren doesn't because he has a Tesla, but you guys have a CarPlay in your cars?
I do not. My parents have CarPlay, so I use it when I'm visiting them.
So you just get in the car just to drive around just so you can say you tried CarPlay?
Yeah, but what it did teach me is that I really want CarPlay. So
Yeah.
I'm going to do an aftermarket upgrade to my car.
Oh, nice.
I haven't had a car in the last 2 years.
Well, that's why you have
so-
I forgot, Patrice, you don't have a car.
Yeah, I don't have a car, but I mean, I have I rent a car every now and then, and I always make sure I test CarPlay.
Okay.
Like it's this important. Like I would
yeah.
never get a
Yeah,
car
same.
without CarPlay.
My son's car has it, so I play with it there. And he's in college, so I can play
That's
with
right.
it.
You can go drive it now because he's in
It's
school.
sitting in my driveway. I don't want to drive his car because it's not a great car. But I'll sit in my driveway with CarPlay.
Play with CarPlay.
Okay, that's actually really funny.
That is funny.
That is funny.
It would be funny.
Oh my gosh.
Actually, there's an article today where the first food ordering app is available for CarPlay. So
There is.
I'm gonna sit in my-
Yeah,
I'm looking.
put that link. We'll put that in the show notes.
Yeah, I just,
So does that
yeah.
mean you can order food through CarPlay and then keep driving around and make your delivery person try and catch you?
That's right.
I'm not sure what that actually means. Dunkin' is when so Dunkin' has a
Dunkin'
CarPlay
Donuts?
app. Yeah,
Really?
so it works with
Wow,
CarPlay now.
okay.
If you get that link, go ahead and put it in the show notes for me if you don't mind.
Yeah, that is interesting.
So this article, and I've used a lot of this stuff. So this breaks it down. Of course, the Apple Core apps, and they're all listed there. The phone works really well. I go back and forth between my integrated in my car. I have the Uconnect through my Dodge, and the iPhone. It's always hard too. You got to have to plug it in with a wired connection. It doesn't have wireless. It's a 2018, so I don't have that option yet. I'll talk about that in a little bit here. But music, maps, messaging, and podcasts and calendar, all that stuff's available. And actually, the Messages app works pretty well. I mean, when a message comes through, it pops up on the screen. You tap it, announces it to you, and then you can respond right back using Siri. So that's worked real well. I've used that quite a few times. But I'm not going to go through every single thing that's listed here, but some of the things I'm notable, like audiobooks, you have a whole catalog of stuff, including Audible and a lot of the other stuff that's really good. Communications apps, I can actually, that's not listed here. I've actually had a Teams meeting, audio, of course, doing that as well as Zoom. And
I've
for
used that.
the Dunkin' app is actually listed in here, Warren. So
I was just going to say
Nice.
they updated the article to include the food app.
so that must have just came through. So I guess
We'll have to change it.
there's my reason to go to Dunkin' now because to get my cup of
order
coffee
from your car.
Get my cup of coffee and a blueberry donut.
Or he's gonna sit in his car to order like Dunkin' from CarPlay in his son's car.
I want him to deliver it to me, though. DoorDash.
So a lot of
But you're in a vehicle. Why couldn't you come to me?
Yeah.
I don't want to. I'm sitting here. I'm enjoying my CarPlay. I'm watching a movie.
A lot of music apps. Of course, Apple Music be the standout. Even have Sirius XM here in the States available, and YouTube Music work. I've used that before. It works really well. The
Podcast apps a lot.
Radio Paradise. I don't see that listed here, but it does. They do work, and I kind of like that. App's got all kind of cool music. So there's tons there. Navigation, of course, the Apple Maps and Google Maps are the key ones. Waze, so lots of them out there. So news and sports, there's a lot of those apps that are out there. I tried to use MLB at bat during the baseball season. It didn't seem to work well. Wasn't too excited about it. But most of the stuff you can get through many of the music apps like Odyssey, which is the CBS radio stations around US. That tends to work pretty well. The podcast app, my favorite is Pocket Casts. It works really well and able to browse. Only bad thing is you got to be careful because you get so into a habit of wanting to browse through all your podcasts that you have, and it's only limited. It limits you. You don't go to the next. If you go past page one, you aren't getting very far. So,
Yes.
But check this information out. The CarPlay is really becoming a really a great, robust system. Whether it be integrated with your radio or like Jeff's considering getting an external head unit for it, or not external. You're gonna replace your radio probably.
Yeah, I'll just swap out my head unit.
Yeah, it was difficult for me because my car has all the integrated stuff with it, with the heat. And I mean, yeah, it has the mechanical knobs and stuff. But then I worry I would lose all. I mean, even they say it's part of it, and you can integrate some of the wiring to those head units. Because I had an older car that didn't have it, and I considered it, but I was like, do I really want to go down that road? Because I have all that integrated stuff. So yeah, but now it's included, so I don't have to worry. So.
If I glue an iPad to my screen,
I could do that.
You can do that.
Or just put a hinge on it and just lift it up. So when you have to get to the other stuff,
I mean,
right?
I think there was some aftermarket thing where you could use an old iPad basically as a like CarPlay head unit.
Yeah, I've
So,
seen that too.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and then there's also, I don't know if it's in here, but they're getting better, the wireless adapters to make them wireless. They were a little wonky, I heard at first, but now you could get wireless CarPlay. And
Yeah, I'm going to talk about that. That's one of my picks in the gift guide. So
Oh, cool.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I have I've used wireless CarPlay, like the proper one, and it's really good.
See, I would still plug it in because, why not? Because you want to
It's true,
charge.
yes.
Because you're driving, you
true.
got an outlet right there. Why wouldn't you want to charge it?
Well, I mean, the car I used it in is a VW ID4, and that has a wireless charger. So you just drop your phone into that, and it charges, and it uses wireless CarPlay.
My Tesla has that too, but I ripped it out.
So that's cool.
It doesn't work so well.
Yeah.
I'd still want to plug in though, because if I'm going to play music from my iPhone, I want the higher quality you get going wired as opposed to Bluetooth.
I plug
But
in.
it's not Bluetooth. That's the thing. It's Wi-Fi. They actually have a Wi-Fi set up.
Oh, okay. Well, that's
One of the
everything.
That's one of the reasons why a lot of cars don't have it, because you have to put a Wi-Fi.
Actually,
I wonder
Wi-Fi.
if it's AirPlay. If it's AirPlay too.
It probably is, yeah.
Because that would
I
get
would
you
guess some special
Well, that
version of
changes
AirPlay.
everything.
Dolby lossless in the Dodge Challenger. Is what you're
Well,
gonna get.
I'm glad we're having this discussion because I have a note written down somewhere for the CarPlay head unit that I was planning on getting from Crutchfield,
They rock.
and now I need to go and double check. Does it do the Wi-Fi wireless? And if not, well, now my shopping starts over. So thanks, Patrice.
Yep.
You're welcome.
You guys can't watch Hulu in your car like I can. So
True.
Well, you can.
Well, you can still glue your iPad to the screen.
Right.
I guess you could. Yes.
Yeah, I'll just set my iPad up on the dash.
Yeah.
Or just glue it right in front of the your field of view.
Yeah,
And
that's
just-
called a
Good
heads-up
idea.
display.
Well, with
display.
AR,
Yeah.
Yes.
with AR, you can do that.
If you're about to hit something, you can see right through the iPad. Just split second before you hit it.
All right, we're gonna move on real quick here. As I announced last week, I did decide to get the Series 7 Apple Watch. I don't know if you know that or not, Patrice, but I decided to get it. And the budget was working, and I said, you know what, I'm going to do it. I usually skip a year with the Apple Watch, but I decided, what the heck. Not my first week with it. Overall, my impressions are, I think I really like the display. It's really bright. It does look bigger, but it really isn't bigger. I mean, it's the same size screen, really, if you think about it, because the old bands will fit it nicely. But very bright. It's very fast responsive, which I've been happy with. But there'll be a lot of the apps will work really well with it. I don't know some of the apps that you guys use, but you mentioned hand washing, Warren. I hadn't turned that on for a while. I think you're right. It was a big exciting thing during the heavy points of the COVID of the pandemic. So, but then even that went away because then they realized hand washing wasn't that important as much as the masks. So they didn't make a big deal over it. Right. Yeah. Because at first, you don't touch anything. If I seem to remember that correctly. I was wiping down groceries when we would have Instacart bringing our stuff, and I was like, God, are you kidding me? How are you going to get it for that?
All that wasted washing of my hands.
And all the, oh yeah. How about all the wasted, the Lysol wipes? Then I go on the stores, the shelves are full of them before you could never even get any.
Now my shelves are full of them.
Yeah, exactly. And it's going to dry out. So some of the features like the blood oxygen is really cool. Being able to measure your heartbeat, to checking for that. And the noise app I've been using a lot of. One of the apps a lot of people became kind of a fad is the walkie-talkie feature. A lot of people just like it was cool for a while, but then like, what do I need to use that for? It's like it did. Yeah. It just I think it's probably. I used it like a couple times and I haven't used it since. I don't even think whoever I talked to is even programmed in there anymore. Or it got disconnected. So
I know some families that still use it, but it's like it's barely anybody.
Yeah, I used it quite a bit for a while, and it's because I would like have to swing by the school and pick up family members' kids, and trying to coordinate where they were was a total pain. But since we all had Apple Watches, it was great for that. And then going to school, like physically going to school, stopped being a thing, and that was it. Walkie-talkie just stopped.
I think people realized they didn't want to be, spoken to on a whim without having the option not to talk to somebody.
Yeah.
Is because it's basically if you're walkie-talkie with somebody, then they heard you, and they saw it. So. My son learned real quick that that's not cool, and he didn't want to do that anymore. So,
Jeff, your walkie-talkie turned into a city talk.
Yeah,
it totally did. Yeah, and it evolved from doing this to just always talking.
Dick Tracy. That's what the first people says.
The whole Dick Tracy thing, I find to be incredibly funny.
See?
Yeah, there you go.
It just went off on my watch.
Yeah, I mean, Dick Tracy, that was a thing that predates all of us.
It does. It really
and
does.
I'm surprised that, to a small degree, that we didn't say, oh, it's a Star Trek thing. Because, in Star Trek, the motion picture, their communicators were wrist syncs, and they would just talk to them like that.
Or a Knight Rider thing.
Or a Knight Rider thing, because Michael always talked to Kid through his watch.
Right. That's how I talk to my Tesla. It doesn't talk back though.
Yeah, if you want to get really esoteric, a Johnny Sacco thing. Is that? I mean, that's how Johnny Sacco talked to his flying robot.
That's interesting. I think
Now you're predating me, I think. And I think I'm older than you.
saying what I just said, Dick Tracy, it didn't go off this time. That maybe that was a trigger point for Siri. I don't know.
That could be.
All right. So overall, with the watch, I would say it's well worth the buy, especially if you have an older Apple Watch. If you're Series 5 and older, I would consider it. Anything even older than that, for sure, you should really consider it. Going from a Series 6 to a Series 7 like I did, I don't think it's that important to do. I just found that the budget I was able to work through, and I was pleased with that. So I decided, what the heck, I did it. So that's the Apple Watch. And let's move on and kind of a new feature here on In Touch with iOS. I came up with as we spoke today during the beginning of the show. Here is I kind of wanted to go offer a gift guide, since it is Black Friday as we're recording this, and some related iPhone, iPad, Apple TV, Apple Watch, iOS favorites of some of our particular things that we like. So, Jeff, we'll start off with you. So you threw a couple items in here, and what do you have as far as a couple gifts that you think are good companions with your iOS device?
My first one,
or iPad OS.
Yeah, it's called Pen Tips, and the website is pen.tips. And they're these little like silicone caps that go on the tip of your Apple Pencil. And there are a lot of companies that make these, but this is the one that I have found to be the most reliable and to cause the least amount of problems. So I don't have issues with touch sensitivity with my Apple Pencil on my iPad with these tips. They come in a bunch of colors, and it's like $20 for a little box with 5 of them. And the reason they come as 5 in a box is because you use them, they are going to wear out, and that's just to be expected. Or in my case, because of the way I'm always doing weird angles and stuff, I'm more likely to, as they start to wear out, have one of them pop off, and then I can't find it. So then I just have to put a new one on. It's like $20 for a pack of 5, and you have to buy them directly from the company, and they ship anywhere in the world, and they're really fast with getting stuff to you. And I think they are doing a Black Friday deal as well. And you can choose from a bunch of different colors for your pen tips.
This looks great.
So yeah, I'm happy with mine.
One other?
I do. So it's no secret that I'm into my digital to analog converters, my DACs for my computers, and so there's one that I really like that you can use with all of your iOS devices, but then also with your Mac or Windows PC, if that's your thing, and it's the iFi Hip DAC. So it has a built-in battery, rechargeable, so you can take it with you on the go, and it connects via USB. And so, like if you're connecting it to an iPhone, then just grab your Lightning adapter and plug that directly into the device, so you don't have to like string cables together. And you can go straight through to USB-C, and it comes with a USB-A to USB-C cable, so you can plug it into your iPad as well, and then get much higher quality music output than you get with the built-in DAC. And one of the other things that I like about this, in addition to the fact that you can use it with all your devices, is that it will do the 32-bit and higher than 96 kilohertz over USB. And some, they will top out at 96 kilohertz. So this one goes up to, 328, I think, over USB, which is kind of crazy because it's like saying, and my TV also does infrared. You're not going to be able to tell because you can't sense the differences at that point. Our ears just don't work like that. But it will do more than what you are capable of hearing, and it'll work with all your devices. And they're like I want to say $169.
But it's on sale right now for
Very nice.
$152.
Oh,
Nice.
even better.
Nice. I think you spent my money.
Yeah, you're killing me. I just got the, as I said, title subscription for 3 months. Now I might have to do this.
Oh, yeah. Okay, then Warren, here's a pro tip for you.
Yes.
Once you plug in the hip DAC, use the dial on the hip DAC to control the volume instead of the system controls for volume.
Oh, that's a volume button. It looks like how you open up the bottle to drink the vodka.
So it does
Well,
look like a yeah,
It totally looks like a hip flask,
a flask. Yeah.
which I think plays into the name of hip DAC.
Maybe. Yeah. I think it's totally portable. No, it looks cool. I'm going to try. I'm not sure if maybe you'll know real fast, and this is off topic, but the M1 Pro Mac with the headphone jack, is that DAC quality now? Or did they say something like that?
Well, okay. So the short version is, of course, it's DAC quality because your Mac has a DAC built into it.
Okay.
But if you want to have the audio quality that comes along with the lossless files, you still need an external DAC.
Something like that. Will this work on a computer too?
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's got
So,
USB.
And it comes with USB cable, so you can just plug straight in.
Ferb, I know what I'm getting today.
All right. Well, since you know what you're getting, also tell everybody about your pick, Warren.
So I didn't get this, but I was looking through the Lightning deals, and this came up, and I was actually surprised to see it. And basically, it's a replacement. It's a non-Apple replacement charging case for the AirPods. They have white and black, and it is for the AirPods 1 and 2. But if I needed one, I would consider doing this because A, you got a return policy on Amazon if it doesn't work, and B, it's even with the sale now, it's a lot cheaper than going through Apple. So, for $29, if you want to have a second AirPod case, or if you lost your original one, I would give it a try. There's 450 ratings, and some say it's junk, but a lot of people say it's not. So, I found that pretty interesting because I didn't know that Apple allowed it to actually happen. So,
Yeah.
But
I mean,
it was on sale
maybe
today.
this one actually properly charges your AirPods because there have been so many people with issues where they don't charge properly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's wireless
Plus,
too.
Yeah, and you could get it in black, which is actually kind of neat. As far as white, you can't get the actual AirPods in white, black. I mean, but yeah. So that's I just
Nice.
if they came out for ones with the Pro, I would try those, but I didn't see any for the Pro.
No, just the standard.
Yep.
All right. And Patrice, what do you have?
I have two really cool apps for you. One is an app, one is more a service. The app is Airmail. I'm on a probably lifelong, or at least as long as email has existed, and I've used email, search for a really good email app. And I've tried almost all of them at this point, and I've recently switched back to Airmail. Back when I tried it like a couple years ago, it was less than reliable. Let's put it that way. I saw some of the code in the background. I'm like, yeah, okay, that's not good. But I think it's a French guy who's working on that, or a French company. I've been constantly working on it, and it is really, really good, especially for someone like me who has, 10, 15 email accounts. It is it's available on iOS. It's available on macOS. I don't know if they have any other platforms. I've not checked. But it is a really, really solid app, and it actually works really well. It's free in the basic version, which I think only supports one email account. For a lot of people, that might be enough. But if you need more, the AirMail Pro subscription is $2.99 a month, or just $9.99 a year. And I think for that, like for an app that I use every day a lot, it's basically nothing. Yeah. And I think I convinced Jeff to give it a try, right? Did I remember that correctly?
And I just got busy leading up into the holidays.
Yeah.
So I haven't put it back on my Mac yet.
Yeah, it is. As I said, I've been using it for a couple of weeks now, and it is like the new version that I have is really, really good. So that's one. The second one is a Apple service, Apple Fitness Plus. It's one of those services not a lot of people seem to talk about. Even when Apple announced new changes and new things coming to it, like during the Apple keynote, I saw very few people actually talking about it, which is sad because it is such a great service. I use it multiple times a week. I do different kinds of exercises. I love the dance exercises. I mean, I'm not a dancer. I'm not very well coordinated, but I don't give a crap because it's just so much fun to do. So I do that usually on the weekend when I have 20, 30 minutes. I'll just do I'll dance in my bedroom where my Apple TV is for 30 minutes. The integration, it's something that Apple does really well. The integration between the Apple Watch and the Apple TV or the iPhone or the iPad, depending on what device you use, is just really good. And you get everything you would expect from Apple. And they have so many different kinds of exercises now. It doesn't get boring. I can switch between, I'll do dance, I'll do high intensity interval training, I'll do yoga, I'll do meditation, it keeps going. There's so much stuff, and they're constantly adding new people and new content and so on. It's not cheap. It's cheaper than a fitness studio. It's $9.99 a month or $79.99 a year. Or you can get it as part of your Apple One Premier plan. Or if you buy an Apple Watch, you get 3 months for free.
There you go.
So, yeah, it's really good.
When you dance, the camera does capture you and broadcast.
That would be awesome. No, that would be awesome. No, there's no camera, so. No, they're really good. And what I really enjoyed, I've tried other apps. What I really enjoyed was they have always 3 people on it. There's the main coach, and then there's one person who does let's say the simpler or the less intensive version, and there's one person who does the more intensive version. And you can just follow whoever you want. And they actually encourage you to just do your own thing. Sometimes they just say, it's fine if you can't follow this. Just keep going, keep doing it your way. It's fine. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to have fun. So it's good.
Yeah, I need to use it more. I don't. I have the Apple One bundle, so.
Yes, not a lot of people talk about it.
No, yeah. I also have it, and this is going to be one service I will not be using right now. So.
Because you can't do it sitting in your son's car.
Yeah. Playing with CarPlay.
I can't do it sitting. Doesn't matter where I'm sitting, but that's usually what I'm doing nowadays. So.
I think they have sitting yoga. So.
Do they?
Yeah, I think so. I think I've seen something.
Goats.
Thanks. So
chair yoga, I think.
Appreciate all your gift guide picks, and then I'll pick mine. I actually picked this up today. Actually, as we record this, I'm going to try it out. This is a wireless CarPlay adapter made by a company called CarLinkKit. The links in the show notes specifically for model years for 2017 and 2018. I have a 2018, but it does provide wireless connections to your iPhone to allow it to connect to CarPlay. It's got, it looks like about the size of an iPhone, actually. It's a little box. It'll plug into the USB port in your car. And in fact, my USB port is inside my little glove box between seats, so I can just put it inside and it should be hidden. But it'll be nice. I would like to try it out. I'm going to give it a shot, see if it works or not. It does have plug and play. It'll pick it up. And I read some of the reviews, and some people were saying that there is a bit of a lag sometimes, which is to be expected with wireless. But the nice thing is I don't have to mess with anything. It's going to integrate with what is already provided in the factory radio. And we'll see what happens. I mean, it's not too terribly expensive either. It's only $86.
That's not bad.
And so it's not a bad deal at all as far as this device.
I'm looking at the price history on this, and it's currently available at the lowest price it's ever been.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. So
it's definitely cheaper than a new car or a new head unit.
Or a new head unit, right? But the problem is you have to have a head unit that has CarPlay, and this is for the factory car. And, I read through a lot of the reviews. There's about 466. There was about 165 extra questions and some pretty good amount of reviews. So it's got 4 stars on Amazon. So, we'll see how it goes. Anyways, they'll get the return if it doesn't work right? And plus, it's Christmas time, so I got till the end of January. Mm-hmm. So, all right, that was great. I appreciate everybody's gift guides for this year. We'll have to try to. I think I'm going to have to make this a regular thing here for next year too. So, let's go ahead and wrap things up. That's a wrap for this week. Please send your comments, questions, and suggestions to our email address, feedback@intouchwithios.com. You can follow us on Twitter @intouchwithios. We usually record the live stream on Thursday nights at 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/DaveG65. We're also going to watch past streams and listen to all the episodes. Visit our In Touch with iOS magazine on Flipboard, where we have many of the topics that we discuss are flipped on Flipboard there. So you can check that out. You can also subscribe on in your favorite podcatcher, including Apple Podcasts and many others. But better yet, go to our website, intouchwithios.com, where all the links to all the ways to listen to us are there. I am Dave Ginsburg. You can find me on Twitter @DaveG65. Jeff, thanks for being here as always. Where can people find you?
Well, thanks for having me back. It's always fun to get to hang out with all of you. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram, JGamet on both. YouTube.com/JGamet for my videos. All this week I've been on macOS Ken in a few minutes. And Tuesdays, Mac Voices Live. Thursdays, The Big Show. Fridays, The Mac Show.
Great. And Patrice, thanks for being here. Always a pleasure having you on the show when we can. Where can we find you?
Yeah, thanks for having me. You can find me as well with David and Jeff on the Mac Show on the British Tech Network every week, and also with Jeff on the Big Show. I have a podcast called Foodie Flashback, where I talk to really random people or interesting people about food and their food-related stories and memories, I did with Jeff and with David. And I'm definitely going to get Warren on as well to talk about what his food story is. I'm very interested in that.
You got the right person for that.
As I say.
We're going to set that up. Right. Yeah, and you can find that on foodieflashback.com. And everything I'm doing and all the social media links you can find on thepatrice.com.
All right. Warren, where can people find you?
Well, I'm hoping to do that food show because now, I got to think about that now.
Well, you can go back and listen to how Jeff and I did ours. So,
yeah, it's definitely not going to be Chicago pizza. So,
well, I do that.
Good.
I tried it and did not like it. You can find me on the Mac to the Future Facebook group. I could do once in a while. I'll join Chuck on his show on Tuesday nights when possible. And other than that, I use this time to say thanks to Jeff and Patrice. It was great talking to you guys.
All right. And thank you for listening. Hope you enjoyed the show. We enjoyed doing it. And we'll talk again soon.